Hiro, Master of the Railway. I'm Lily Blossom. And this is how I first met Hiro, Master of the Railway. If you've seen Hero of the Rails, then you already know how Thomas met Hiro. Well, Twilight was with him, and she decided that Hiro needed a pony. So, when she came back to Equestria, she was looking for some pony who was kind and understanding and gentle. Now, you will probably expect Fluttershy, but Fluttershy already has an engine. You know, Henry. So she found me working in my garden. She said, "Lily Blossom, I want you to meet someone very special." I looked up from my work and said, What sort of someone?" I asked. "Wait, come with me and I'll show you," Twilight said, smiling. Curious to know what was going on, I followed her. She brought me to this location that had blue bushes and pink trees. It was a beautiful place. She brought me to this doorway that actually had, when she opened the door, we were sucked into a magical vortex. Twilight kept her eyes closed, but she was calm. I, on the other hand, felt like panicking. I was scared stiff, and all I could do was that. And plus, I had to close my eyes too, for the colors were making me very dizzy. So, Twilight brought me to this strange world called the Island of Sodor, and she brought me to a train. Only this train had a face, a gray rubbery face, and he was blue with a big yellow number 1. Twilight told me his name was Thomas. Thomas, this is Lily Blossom, she said. Lily Blossom, this is Thomas, my private engine. We looked at each other, and I said, "Hello," and he said hello back. Twilight told me that they were going to take me to meet someone very special. And so we went off to a big location with trees and bushes, just regular trees and bushes. And behind them was an old-looking engine. He was rusty and broken in many places, but he still had a face that worked. So Twilight brought me over closer to the engine, though I was a little frightened at first. "Hiro, I want you to meet one of my friends from Equestria. Lily Blossom, this is Hiro. Hiro, this is Lily Blossom." I looked at him. Hiro smiled, very friendly. That made me feel less scared. Hello," I said rather nervously. "Hello there, Lily Blossom. Twilight Sparkle has been telling me that she has many friends, and I see that you are one of them. And from what I can tell, any friend of Twilight is a friend of mine too." I bashfully hid my face behind my name. "It's nice to meet you too, Hiro," I said. Hiro smiled again at me. So Thomas and Twilight explained to me that they had recently found Hiro by accident, and that they wanted to help repair him, but they had to do it in secret, so I couldn't tell anyone at all. I promise, I said. And when Hiro was repaired, Twilight said, I could be Hiro's pony friend. I was delighted to hear that. I liked Hiro already. And, well, Hiro, vice versa, you know. So, throughout the days, Hiro and I got to know each other more. He said he came from Japan, where that was his real home. He was called Master of the Railway, and that he came to Sodor on a big ship, and that Sodor back then was quiet. I in turn told him all about our world, Equestria, and how ponies run the land. Though Hiro missed his old island and old friends, but he was happy to have a new friend, me. And, well, you all know the chase scene where Hiro and Thomas were chased by, Spencer. And, well, I wasn't there at the time, but I heard what had happened from Twilight. So that was one day when I was working in my garden. Twilight had sent me the message. So I found the way back to the portal and got there as fast as I could. It was late, and the sun hadn't quite gone down yet, and the moon wasn't all the way up yet. So I could still see. Hiro was sad. Half of him was already gone. Oh, Hiro, I heard about what happened. Are you okay? I asked. Yes, Lily Blossom, he said, staring at me with sad eyes. But I am sure I'll be sent to the smelter's yard now. Don't say that, Hiro, I said. Please don't say that. Twilight and Thomas are both really useful. They'll do everything they can to help you. And so, the next few days, Twilight and Thomas were helping out at the Duke and Duchess's summer house, while Thomas and Twilight's other friends, please correct me if I've missed one, James, Rarity, Percy, Pinkie Pie, Gordon, Rainbow Dash, Emily, Rainbow Flash, Henry, Fluttershy, Edward, Starbeam Twinkle, and Toby and Applejack. They all came to see him. And finally Twilight and Thomas came on the last day. They promised that they would fix everything tonight. And so I stayed longer with Hiro. I kept telling him about what I do in Equestria. I sometimes tend to my flower garden. I even told him that's how I got my cutie mark, which Hiro didn't know very much about, but I explained to him what cutie marks were for. And so later that evening, Twilight and Thomas came back, smiling wide. They told us that Sir Topham Hatt and that they were going to send Hiro to the steamworks, not the smelter's yard. Me and Hiro were very, very happy. So the next morning, they took Hiro and I to the Sodor steamworks, where we met Victor and Kevin, who worked there. And well, Hiro's restoration begun, and before long, he was restored and looked wonderful. Sir Topham Hatt allowed me to be Hiro's pony friend, and I was happy, and so was Hiro. And then Hiro and Thomas and Twilight and I and Rocky, the big crane, went to get Rocky to get the engine who chased us, Spencer, from the mud. And so after that, we all worked to finish the Duke and Duchess's summer house. and afterwards Spencer apologized for his bad behavior. So that night, we were resting. Spencer was asleep already. However, me, Hiro, Thomas, and Twilight were still wide awake. I saw that Hiro was sad. "What's wrong, Hiro?" I asked. "You have been very kind, all three of you," Hiro said. "The best friends I could ever have. But I want to go home." "To Japan?" I asked. "Yes, Lily Blossom." I understood what Hiro meant, and so did Twilight and Thomas. "We can help you," Thomas said. "Wait here." And Twilight and Thomas left, and Twilight went after him. And so I had learned that Twilight and Thomas told Sir Topham Hatt how Hiro was feeling, and Sir Topham Hatt knew how to solve that problem. So the next day, Hiro and all of Thomas and Twilight's friends went to Brendam Docks for a special celebration. Though I felt kind of sad. Hiro was going home to Japan. And so when he came to Thomas and Twilight, I flat down beside him. "It's time for you to go home, Hiro," I said sadly. "It is," Hiro said. "I will never forget what you did for me. And I'll never forget you, Lily Blossom. And I'll never forget you or Twilight or Thomas." "Perhaps we could visit you," Thomas said. "Or perhaps you can come back and see us again one day," Percy said. "Maybe, Percy," said Hiro. "Remember, Hiro," said Twilight, smiling warmly, "Sodor will always be your home too." "I know, Twilight," said Hiro. "Thank you all." And Hiro went away to the ship. I was very sad. I'd only been with Hiro for a short time, and now he was already leaving. I whispered to myself, "I guess you really don't know what you have till it's gone," I said. And I walked away sadly. I had lost a new friend. Or so I thought. A few months later, or so, maybe a year later, Twilight had exciting news for me. "Lily Blossom, guess what? Hiro's coming back." When I heard this, I jumped and flapped my wings. "He is? Come with me to Sodor, Lily Blossom," said Twilight. So I went with her back through the portal. We arrived, and well, you know that story. Hiro came and we were all very happy, and I was especially happy. "I missed you, Hiro," I said. "I missed you too, Lily Blossom. I know you are going to be a good pony friend for me." "I will, Hiro. I promise." Cross my heart and hope to fly, stick a cupcake in my eye. Hiro laughed at this. And so, I was with Hiro through all that time. Onwards. Okay, that's my story of how I met Hiro, the master of the railway. I know it sounds short, but I just want to make, well, a long story short. This is Lily Blossom saying good night, everyone. Goodbye for now.